if you are given this graph, you are asked to figure out its equation. How should you do? Okay, first let's analyze the standard transformed function. This is the transformed function's expression. Y equals a times fk times x minus d plus c. If you are given this graph and you are asked to figure out its equation, that is to say, you just need to figure out a, k, d, and c. First, let's observe this expression. Here, this x and this y, they will construct the corresponding points for every point on the original function. This is the point on the transformed function. Because you observe this given graph, you should think of the original function should be square root function. Okay. Now this x, we use x new. This y, we use y new to represent the corresponding new x coordinate and new y coordinate. This pi, you know, it should be the original x coordinate. So we figure out x original equals this pi, alright? So if you reorganize this expression, you will figure out this formula. Similarly, for this generalized transformed function, this portion, it is y original. That is, this y new will be a times y original plus c. That is, this equation. Now, if we have the origin on the original graph, that is, on the parent function's graph, that is, this one is 0 and this one is 0, so this point will be 0, 0. This is the origin in the Cartesian plane. In the future, this origin will be transformed to this corresponding image point. This image point must be on the given graph. Here, you know, this is the endpoint. Alright? So, this point must be transformed from this origin. So, this point will be moved to this point. Alright? That is, say, if this number is 0, this number is 0, you can figure out these two equations. So, we can figure out this parameter will be the new x coordinate. They say this parameter will be equal to the new y coordinate. So, for this given graph, this point, its x coordinate -4, its y coordinate +2. So, this point, its x coordinate will be d, this one. Its y coordinate will be c. So, according to this analysis, we figure out its parameter d, -4. If we put -4 here, you will figure out x plus 4. We put 2 as c here, you will figure out this. Because the relationship between delta y and delta x has not been changed. So the corresponding a and corresponding k, these two parameters, will be 1. Because there is no vertical reflection for this original graph, so a will be +1. There is no horizontal translation, so k will be 1. For the more complicated situations, we will use another videos to explain how to figure out the equation from the given graph. Here, first, you just need to study these two parameters because they are quite useful for us to figure out the corresponding D and C on the basis of the region on the original functions graph. And this is the corresponding transform point for this region. It's quite significant because this point, if you can figure out its coordinates, you will be able to figure out parameter D and C. This is the formula.